Here's the situation. Household costs are soaring, and most people are too occupied soaking up the final days of summer to notice. But while you're out enjoying the sunshine, cleaning supplies, food storage essentials, and other everyday products are quietly climbing in price, some by as much as 12%. And here's the catch. Major suppliers are already warning this is just the beginning of the iceberg. Let me be direct. If you're not paying attention, you're going to get caught off guard right now. How 8 out of 10 American families are already cutting back, and the cracks in the system are growing bigger by the day. In today's video, I'm breaking down 8 common household products that are either about to disappear from shelves or soar in price. And trust me, you don't want to wait until it's too late. Oh, and number 6, it's already back ordered in 3 states, and most people have no idea why. If you care about protecting your wallet, your family, and your sanity, stick around. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because you're going to want to stay ahead of this. Let's dive in. 1. Plastic products you take for granted. Plastic products are the unsung heroes of your household. You don't think twice about grabbing a plastic container, a pack of disposable cups, or a cheap drawer organizer. But here's the reality. In August 2025, these everyday items are vanishing from shelves faster than you can say supply chain. The issue, most of these products are still manufactured overseas, particularly in China, and the combination of rising U.S. import tariffs and soaring fuel costs is strangling the flow of affordable plastic goods into American stores. Retailers like Walmart, Dollar Tree, and Big Lots are already reporting erratic shipments of plastic kitchenware, storage bins, and even basic items like trash cans. And when shipments do arrive, they're smaller, more expensive, and often missing key products. This isn't just about convenience. It's about survival. Plastic bins and containers are essential for keeping your food dry, your tools organized, and your supplies protected from pests and water damage. Without them, your pantry becomes a mess. Your stockpile gets exposed, and your gear scattered and vulnerable when you need it most. And don't think you can just switch to glass or metal. Those alternatives are heavier, costlier, and in many cases, just as hard to find. So, if you see affordable plastic goods on the shelf, don't hesitate. Stock up on clear storage tubs, drawer organizers, tool caddies, and even those cheap plastic measuring cups. They might not seem like survival gear, but when the system starts to crack, these items will hold your life together. Wait too long, and you'll either pay triple or go without entirely. 2. Cleaning supplies. Your last line of defense. You can survive without electricity. You can manage without hot water. But if you run out of cleaning supplies during a crisis, you're in real trouble. Bacteria, mold, and viruses don't take a day off. And in August 2025, cleaning products are slipping into shortage territory once again. This time, it's not panic buying like we saw in 2020. It's a slow, grinding supply chain collapse. Distributors are already flagging delays in restocking disinfectant sprays, bleach wipes, sponges, and even basic toilet bowl cleaners. Big retailers like Target and Walmart are cutting back shelf space for cleaning products because shipments are inconsistent. And when they do arrive, they're smaller and more expensive. The rising cost of raw materials like isopropyl alcohol, citric acid, and sodium hypochlorite is forcing manufacturers to shrink packaging or hike prices. And most are doing both. The result, you'll walk into the cleaning aisle and find it half empty or filled with overpriced, watered-down alternatives. Here's why this matters. When the grid goes down or water pressure drops, hygiene becomes your last line of defense against illness. A dirty countertop or a contaminated sponge can spread bacteria faster than you think, especially in tight spaces with limited running water. That's how people get sick in emergencies. Not from the disaster itself, but from what's left behind. So, what should you stock up on now? Bleach, disinfectant sprays, gloves, microfiber cloths, multi-surface cleaners, dish soap and vinegar. Don't forget baking soda. It's cheap, versatile, and still in short supply in some areas due to agricultural bottlenecks. Sanitation isn't optional. When society bends, it's hygiene that breaks first. Don't wait until the next flood, blackout, or outbreak to realize you're out of supplies. 3. Packaging materials. The overlooked essentials. Most people see packaging materials as disposable junk: cardboard boxes, bubble wrap, zip bags. But in a crisis, these items become your first line of defense for protecting food, gear, and even your sanity. And right now, in August 2025, the cost of packaging is rocketing and availability is plummeting. The reasons are simple but devastating. Shortages in plastic resins, paper pulp, and aluminum are driving up costs, while unstable freight prices are forcing manufacturers to prioritize products over packaging. That means fewer food-grade zip bags, heavy-duty foil, mylar pouches, and vacuum seal rolls on store shelves. Even basic items like shrink wrap and packing tape are becoming harder to find. Here's the thing. When a crisis hits, storage is survival. You might have a stockpile of rice, but how do you keep it dry? You might have extra water, but where do you store it when the jugs run out? What happens when your batteries, fire starters, or medical supplies get damp or exposed? Packaging materials are what keep your preps safe and usable. And it's not just about storage. Think about bartering. In a collapsed system, clean containers, zip bags, and even bubble wrap could become valuable trade items. People won't just barter for food. They'll barter for the tools to preserve what they have left. Smart preppers are already stocking up on resealable bags, vacuum seal rolls, foil sheets, tin containers, and stretch wrap. These aren't flashy items, but they're the unsung heroes of preparedness. So the next time you see a box of freezer bags or a roll of packing tape, grab it. Because when the shipping bottlenecks tighten, you won't just be short on food, you'll be short on the tools to protect it. 4. Pet supplies. Don't forget your four-legged family. When disaster strikes, most people panic about food, water, and medicine. But if you're one of the 66% of American households with a pet, you've got another mouth to feed. And here's the harsh truth. Pet supplies are disappearing faster than anyone expected. In August 2025, pet food aisles are looking emptier by the day. The reasons: a perfect storm of grain shortages, meat processing disruptions, and soaring costs for aluminum and packaging materials. Even big brands like Purina and Blue Buffalo are quietly warning suppliers about delays and price hikes. But it's not just food. Litter, flea meds, grooming tools, waste bags, and even chew toys are vanishing from shelves. Why? Because when manufacturers are under pressure, they prioritize human essentials over pet products. Here's the problem. Your dog doesn't understand rationing. Your cat won't adjust to a new brand of food overnight. And once the shelves are cleared, alternatives won't just be inconvenient, they'll be non-existent. Smart pet owners are acting now. They're stocking up on dry food, vacuum sealing treats, and rotating supplies to avoid spoilage. Some are even learning to make homemade kibble alternatives. Not because it's trendy, but because it's necessary. If your pet relies on medication for allergies, anxiety, or joint pain, talk to your vet now and ask for extras. In a crisis, you won't be able to explain a delay to your four-legged family member. When everyone else is scrambling to feed themselves, you'll be the one with a happy, healthy pet and no fear of running out. Because in a world that's falling apart, the comfort of a wagging tail or a soft purr is priceless. 5. Fresh vegetables. The silent luxury. Walk into your local grocery store today, and you might still see bins of lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. But don't let the illusion fool you. Fresh vegetables are quietly becoming a luxury item. Prices are climbing, portions are shrinking, and the quality, let's just say it's not what it used to be. August 2025 is shaping up to be a turning point for the fresh vegetable supply chain, and the warning signs are everywhere. California, the backbone of America's vegetable production, is reeling from relentless heat waves and water restrictions. Crops like spinach, romaine, and bell peppers are yielding less than ever, while transportation costs are soaring thanks to diesel price hikes and a shortage of truck drivers. To make matters worse, New tariffs on imported produce from Mexico are leaving grocery stores scrambling to fill their shelves. Here's the blunt truth: supply is dwindling, demand is holding steady, and your salad is now a status symbol. But it's not just about the price tag. When shelves start to thin out, what's left is often picked too early, stored too long, and shipped without proper cooling. By the time it lands on your plate, it's a shadow of its former self, lacking both flavor and nutrition. Now, imagine a real crisis. The power grid fails, trucks stop running, and import lines are severed. Fresh vegetables will be among the first items to vanish completely. That's why smart families are taking action now. They're stockpiling canned and frozen veggies, dehydrating mushrooms and peppers, and even starting small gardens on windowsills or balconies. And don't overlook vacuum-sealed, mixed veggie packs. They're lightweight, long-lasting, and surprisingly nutritious. Fresh vegetables might look abundant today, but dig a little deeper and you'll see the cracks in the system. If you wait until the produce section is empty, you'll be stuck eating bland, freeze-dried mush, while others enjoy the crunch and color of their foresight. 6 baking staples: the crumbling foundation, flour, sugar, and baking soda. Once the humble heroes of your pantry are now on the front lines of a deepening supply crisis, if you've noticed higher prices or empty spots in the baking aisle, you're not imagining things. Packaged baking products are taking a massive hit this August, and the situation is only getting worse. Let's start with flour. Wheat production in 2025 has been a disaster thanks to extreme heat waves in Kansas and prolonged droughts in Canada. The USDA has already slashed its wheat production forecast by 10%, and that shortfall is driving up flour prices across the board. Pancake mix, cake flour, bread flour, it's all getting more expensive. Then there's sugar. Brazil and India, two of the world's largest sugar exporters, are facing their own production issues, creating a global supply squeeze. Add in domestic trucking delays and higher import tariffs, and suddenly a simple bag of sugar feels like a luxury item. But it doesn't stop there. Baking powder, yeast, and shortening are all caught in the same web of rising costs and supply chain disruptions. Many of these products rely on stable chemical production, overseas imports, and refrigerated transport. Any break in the chain and the shelves go bare. Even the packaging is a problem. Cardboard boxes, foil linings, and resealable bags are more expensive to produce now thanks to shortages in petroleum and paper. Here's the danger. Most people don't think about baking staples until the holidays. But these items are more than just ingredients for cookies. They're the foundation for DIY bread, calorie-dense meals, and comfort foods in a crisis. If shipments stall or panic buying begins, you won't be baking your own bread. You'll be wishing you had the mix to try. Now's the time to act. Stock up on flour, sugar, and baking powder. Learn how to make your own substitutes for things like yeast and baking soda. Vacuum seal cake mixes, and pancake batter for long-term storage. Because when the basics become luxuries, a warm loaf of bread could mean more than just food. It could mean survival. 7. Canned vegetables. The pantry lifeline. When the power goes out, fresh produce is the first to spoil. That's why canned vegetables are a cornerstone of any survival pantry. They're reliable, long-lasting, and packed with nutrients. But here's the bad news. In August 2025, canned vegetables are slipping into the danger zone. This isn't just about inflation. It's a full-blown supply chain crisis. The U.S. recently doubled tariffs on imported steel, which is a critical material for food cans. Around 75% of the tin-coated steel used in cans is imported. And these tariffs are driving up costs by as much as 15%. That's not just a number, it's a direct hit to your grocery bill. Manufacturers are already warning of shortages in canned soups, beans, tomato products, and yes, vegetables. When the cost of packaging rockets, production slows down and shelves start to empty. This isn't a future problem. It's happening right now and most people aren't paying attention. Here's why this matters. Canned vegetables are more than just food. They're a survival tool. They don't need refrigeration. They're easy to store, and they provide essential nutrients when fresh produce is gone. In a blackout or food crisis, they transform from ordinary pantry items into life-saving essentials. And it's not just families that suffer. Food banks and hunger relief programs are also feeling the pinch. Rising production costs mean fewer donations and less variety, leaving vulnerable communities with even fewer options. Don't wait for a sale to stock up. Grab the basics now: corn, green beans, peas, mixed vegetables, and tomato products. Rotate them into your daily meals to keep your stock fresh. And consider vacuum sealing extras for long-term storage. When the lights go out and the shelves go bare, canned vegetables will be the difference between a stable meal and going hungry. Don't let your pantry be the weak link in your preparedness plan. 8. Dairy products, the fragile essentials. When chaos strikes, the first items to disappear from store shelves are often the most perishable, and dairy products are at the top of that list. Milk, butter, cheese, yogurt. These staples are already teetering on the edge of a full-blown crisis in August 2025. The dairy aisle isn't just vulnerable, it's a glaring weak spot in the food supply chain. The warning signs have been building for months. Drought conditions across key dairy-producing states like California, Idaho, and Wisconsin have slashed milk production. Feed prices are through the roof. Transportation costs are spiraling. And now the USDA is forecasting a 6 to 8% increase in wholesale milk prices by the end of the quarter. That might sound like a minor inconvenience until you realize how many products depend on dairy. From baby formula to baked goods, the ripple effect is massive. And here's the kicker: refrigeration. In a grid-down scenario, dairy becomes a liability. Milk spoils in hours, cheese molds, and yogurt turns rancid. Without power, these essentials go from nutritious to dangerous in no time. That's why savvy families are turning to shelf-stable alternatives like powdered milk, canned condensed milk, and even freeze-dried cheese. These items are flying off the shelves faster than retailers can restock. Costco and Walmart are already reporting a 23% spike in sales of shelf-stable dairy compared to last summer, with evaporated milk and cheddar blocks leading the charge. Let's not forget baby formula, a critical dairy derivative that's still in short supply due to ongoing manufacturing issues. If you're a parent, this isn't just a shortage, it's a crisis waiting to happen. The bottom line: if you're relying solely on refrigerated dairy, you're gambling with your family's nutrition. Stock up on non-perishable options now, because when the next power outage or price hike hits, you'll be left scrambling or worse, going without. 9. Chocolate and cocoa. The sweet collapse. When the world starts to crumble, it's not just the essentials that vanish, it's the comforts too. And nothing embodies comfort quite like chocolate. But in August 2025, chocolate isn't just a luxury, it's becoming a scarcity. Cocoa prices are hitting record highs, and the ripple effects are already showing up in your grocery store. The trouble started in West Africa, where over 70% of the world's cocoa is grown. This year, devastating floods and crop diseases have decimated yields in Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire. Add in fertilizer shortages and labor strikes, and the result is a 50% surge in cocoa prices in just the first half of 2025. The fallout: chocolate bars, baking cocoa, and even drink powders are disappearing from shelves or being sold at prices that make you think twice. But this isn't just about your favorite candy bar. Cocoa is a key ingredient in high-calorie emergency rations, protein bars, and nutritional shakes, items that become critical in survival situations. And let's not overlook chocolate's barter value. In every major crisis, from World War II to modern-day Venezuela, chocolate has been a sought-after trade item. It's portable, shelf-stable, and offers a psychological boost that's hard to quantify, but impossible to ignore. Here's the harsh reality: big brands like Hershey and Nestle are already making moves. They're cutting portions, reformulating recipes, and even discontinuing less popular products. That means cocoa-based goods aren't just getting more expensive, they're quietly vanishing. So, The question isn't whether you need chocolate, it's whether you want the option to have it when the system breaks down. Because once the shelves are stripped bare, it's not just the sugar you'll miss. It's the comfort, the energy, and the mental reset that only a square of chocolate can provide. If there's one luxury worth stockpiling, it's this. Don't wait until it's no longer a luxury at all. 10. Paper products. The vanishing everyday essentials. Toilet paper, paper towels, napkins. These are the everyday items you don't think twice about until they're gone. And in August 2025, they're disappearing faster than anyone expected. The paper product shortage is creeping back, and this time, it's not just panic buying. It's a supply chain nightmare. The root of the problem lies in raw materials. Pulp prices have rocketed due to deforestation restrictions, labor shortages, and increased demand for packaging materials. Add in rising fuel costs and shipping delays, and you've got a perfect storm. Even major brands like Charmin and Bounty are struggling to keep up with reports of reduced production and smaller shipments hitting stores. Here's the kicker. When paper products vanish, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a hygiene crisis. Without toilet paper, people turn to less sanitary alternatives, which can lead to health issues. Without paper towels, cleaning becomes harder and cross-contamination risks increase. Smart families are stocking up now, focusing on bulk purchases of toilet paper, paper towels, and napkins. Some are even investing in reusable alternatives like cloth napkins and washable cleaning rags. Because when the shelves go bare, you don't want to be the one scrambling for overpriced, low-quality substitutes. 11th, batteries. Power when you need it most. Batteries are the unsung heroes of modern life, from flashlights and radios to smoke detectors and medical devices. They keep the essentials running when everything else fails. But in August 2025, batteries are becoming harder to find and more expensive when you do. The shortage stems from a global squeeze on lithium, cobalt, and nickel key materials used in battery production. These metals are in high demand for electric vehicles and renewable energy storage, leaving little for consumer-grade batteries. Add in supply chain disruptions and rising production costs. And it's no wonder stores are struggling to keep the AAE Tele and 9-volt batteries in stock. Here's the harsh truth. In a crisis, batteries are worth their weight in gold. They power your emergency lights, your communication devices, and even your medical equipment. Without them, you're left in the dark, literally. Now's the time to act. Stock up on a variety of battery types, including rechargeable options and a solar charger to keep them powered. Don't forget specialty batteries for items like hearing aids or camera equipment, because when the lights go out, the last thing you want is to be powerless. 12. First aid supplies. The overlooked lifesavers: bandages, antiseptics, pain relievers. These are the items you hope you never need but can't afford to be without. And in August 2025, first aid supplies are quietly slipping into shortage territory. The problem starts with raw materials. Many medical supplies rely on petroleum-based products, which are becoming more expensive and harder to source. Add in labor shortages at manufacturing plants and increased demand from hospitals and disaster zones, and you've got a recipe for scarcity. Even over-the-counter medications like ibuprofen and acetaminophen are feeling the pinch. Rising costs for active ingredients combined with shipping delays mean fewer bottles on store shelves. And when a crisis hits, these items are among the first to disappear. Here's why this matters. In an emergency, first aid supplies can mean the difference between a minor injury and a life-threatening situation. A simple cut can become infected without proper care, and untreated pain can quickly spiral into a bigger problem. Don't wait until it's too late. Build a comprehensive first aid kit now, including bandages, antiseptics, pain relievers, and any prescription medications your family needs. Consider adding items like splints, burn cream, and a first aid manual. Because when the system breaks down, your health is your responsibility, and preparation is your best defense. 13. Cooking oils. The liquid gold of the kitchen. Cooking oils are a kitchen staple, but in August 2025, they're becoming harder to find and more expensive than ever. Whether it's olive oil, canola oil, or vegetable oil, the global supply chain is under immense pressure, and the cracks are starting to show. The problem begins with agriculture. Droughts and extreme weather have devastated crops like soybeans, sunflowers, and olives, the primary sources of many cooking oils. Add in rising fuel costs and labor shortages, and the cost of production has rocketed. Even major exporters like Spain and Argentina are struggling to meet global demand, leaving shelves emptier and prices higher. Here's the blunt truth. Without cooking oil, your ability to prepare meals takes a massive hit. Frying, baking, sautéing, these basic cooking methods rely on oil. And in a crisis, when fresh food is scarce, cooking oil becomes even more critical for preserving and preparing what you have. Smart families are stocking up now, focusing on long-lasting options like coconut oil and ghee, which have extended shelf lives. Some are even learning to render their own fats as a backup, because when the oil runs dry, your kitchen could grind to a halt. 14. Feminine hygiene products. The unspoken necessity. Feminine hygiene products are often overlooked in preparedness discussions, but they're absolutely essential for millions of people. And in August 2025, these products are facing significant shortages. The issue starts with raw materials. Many pads and tampons rely on cotton and plastic, both of which are experiencing supply chain disruptions. Cotton crops have been hit hard by droughts and pests, while plastic production is suffering from rising petroleum costs. Add in labor shortages and increased demand, and the result is fewer products on store shelves. Here's the reality. When these items disappear, there's no easy substitute. Improvising with makeshift solutions isn't just inconvenient. It can lead to serious health risks, like infections. That's why it's crucial to plan ahead. Stock up on a variety of products now, including pads, tampons, and menstrual cups. Consider reusable options like cloth pads or period underwear, which can be washed and reused. These alternatives not only save money, but also ensure you're prepared no matter what happens. Because when the shelves are empty, you don't want to be caught off guard. 15th, coffee. The morning ritual at risk. For millions of people, coffee isn't just a drink, it's a daily ritual. But in August 2025, that ritual is under threat. As coffee supplies dwindle and prices soar, the trouble starts at the source. Brazil and Colombia, two of the world's largest coffee producers, have faced devastating weather events this year, including droughts and frosts. These conditions have slashed coffee yields, driving up prices and reducing availability. Add in rising transportation costs and labor shortages, and your morning cup of joe is looking a lot less certain. Here's the kicker. Coffee isn't just a luxury, it's a morale booster. In times of crisis, small comforts like a hot cup of coffee can make a big difference. But when supplies run low, those comforts become harder to come by. Smart coffee drinkers are preparing now. Stock up on whole beans, which have a longer shelf life than ground coffee. Invest in a manual grinder and a French press or pour over setup so you're not reliant on electricity. And don't forget instant coffee. It's lightweight, long-lasting, and easy to prepare in a pinch. Because when the coffee runs out, it's not just your mornings that will suffer, it's your sanity. Don't let a shortage rob you of one of life's simplest pleasures.